My girlfriend cheated on me, so I let her entire family watch. I had a feeling my girlfriend was cheating on me because she was setting off a lot of red flags. She was constantly laughing and smiling while texting, and whenever I asked who it was, she claimed it was just her mother. She started staying late at work every night, but when I called the office, her coworkers would tell me she had left hours ago. When I confronted her about it, she'd just laugh it off, saying it was something they all did at the office. The last straw was when she went out to get milk at 11:30 p.m. and didn't come back until 2 a.m.
See,
If there's any advice,
it's done. If she didn't tell you, and it's over. It don't take that long to get no milk.
I can give from all my years of experience, it's this. If you think your partner is cheating, hire a private investigator. They're incredibly good at what they do and can gather evidence that will really help in a later divorce. Fast forward to her birthday, several months down the road. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why the hell did I wait months before confronting her, and did it really have to be on her birthday? The answer to the first question is that I wanted as much evidence as possible to hand off to my lawyer, and I needed time to make arrangements to find a new place to live.
That's fair.
As for the second question, of course, it had to be on her birthday. After I asked her what she wanted to do for her birthday that year, she insisted I go out of town with my friends since she had to work anyway, and didn't want to be reminded that she was aging.
See?
I knew something was up.
Yep.
Then, after finding a bottle of champagne and 2 glasses hidden in our closet, something in me snapped. So I did what any sensible man would do. I left and pretended to go out of town by staying at a friend's house.
Good.
While there, I called up her mother, father, sister, and several of her friends. I told them I wanted to give her a big surprise by sneaking into our room with party streamers, kazoos, and a big cake with candles. Sounds fun, right? Well, it sure was. At 8:30 in the morning, I had everyone meet just outside our apartment. We all piled into the elevator, her mother holding the cake, and I reminded everyone to be as quiet as possible. I put my key in the door and unlocked it.
That's even more toxic because everybody she knows is going to see her cheating. Nah, you know what you was doing.
We all snuck in and made our way down the hall towards the bedroom. Everyone was holding a kazoo, and her mom was grinning from ear to ear, still holding the cake. Then I threw open the door. Now you can watch the second part by pressing share and more. My girlfriend cheated on me, so I let her entire family watch. I had a
That's toxic, ain't gonna lie. Let's see about part 2. Ain't no part 2.
My son oiled me up on the couch and ended up doing me. Some background, I am
What? My son over here on the couch and ended up doing me. See, what is we doing? This can't be real.
me. Some background, I am
Alabama.
38 and my son is 20. I had my son young and I am a single mother. I feel like a gross person and mother, but I also just feel excited. Romantically excited, but just
What?
generally excited. I've never been into family relationships. I dated
You saying this like it's normal. Like family relationships is just, it's just normal. You gotta be from Alabama.
a guy prior who enjoyed the family fantasy, but it wasn't my thing. I did it just to satisfy him. I've never had love thoughts about my son. It quite literally just happened. I'm not sure if I speak for all single mothers, but I just have a real
No, you don't. You're weird. What is wrong with you? Mine.
really strong relationship with my son. I really hope this didn't mess it all up, and that scares me a lot. I've always tried to support his hobbies etc. and be there for him. Some parents think that you can't be friends with your kid, and I think that is wrong. My son is my friend, but he is also my son. We talk about shows and movies and pop culture like friends. I guess all this started a couple of weeks ago and he just dropped a bomb on me that he finds me attractive. I didn't make a big
Bro, what? See, like, what is you doing? Like, y'all gotta be from Alabama. You saying this like it's normal. It's not a normal thing. You need to go in jail. You're caught.
big deal out of it or say he was weird or wrong. I just kind of said, oh, and that it's sweet and cute. I really wasn't sure what reaction to give other than that, but he kind of looked disappointed. It kind of reminded me of when the boy confesses his feelings and you say, oh, and they look really sad. I'm not sure if after this his behavior changed or if maybe I just started noticing. I think he was behaving the same, but I just noticed him looking at me. I wear shorts that only go to my middle thigh in the house a lot, and I noticed him looking at my legs. He wasn't staring, but now that I knew he found me attractive, I just noticed, and it didn't bother me. I didn't like it,
It
but
didn't bother
honestly,
you?
I didn't care. Random men on the street look at me all the time like I'm a piece of meat. At least my son knows me and cares about me. Nothing crazy happened until earlier. We were in the couch together, and I had my legs over his legs. This wasn't a move. This is just how we sit. I'm his mom.
Me and my mom never did that. Y'all do that normally? What's wrong with you? Y'all family is weird. Y'all weird, pal. Y'all weird.
And we are close. We hug and cuddle. This isn't some new thing, and there was no
Hug and cuddle? Hell no. Y'all both need to go to jail. What is wrong with y'all?
intention behind it. I noticed as he was getting a little excited. He then smirked and looked at me. Press share and more for part 2.
No,
My son oiled me up on the
we will not be watching part 2. We will not be watching part 2.
My family expects me to host every holiday, but it's becoming too much for me. I'm a 32-year-old guy, and for the past 5 years, I've been the one hosting every single holiday for my family. I'm talking Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, even minor holidays like Memorial Day. If it's a chance for the family to gather, it's at my place. It wasn't always my job, but when my grandma passed, the role sort of fell to me. She hosted for over 30 years, and I guess everyone just expected me to pick up where she left off. See, I live alone in a house with a big living room and a dining area that's perfect for hosting. It's nothing fancy, but it's got enough space for everyone. My older brother, he's 35 lives nearby, in a similar sized place, but it's never been on the table for him to take over. It's always just been a given that I'd host. He has a wife and 2 young kids, and whenever the idea of hosting comes up, he just brushes it off, saying how his place is too chaotic for a big gathering. Over the years, the family has gotten bigger. There are cousins with their own kids, aunts and uncles, some of them getting older. A typical holiday means about 20 people in my house. It's loud. There are kids running around, and everyone's got their own expectations. They like the way I cook, how I set up the decorations, and how I make everything feel just like Grandma used to. I've tried to keep up with it all. Bought new tablecloths, different lights for Christmas, and even those fancy serving dishes that I never use outside of these events. But here's the thing, the costs keep adding up. Between the food, drinks, decorations, and little extras to keep the kids entertained, it's not cheap.
Money's gonna add up.
And I'm the one paying for it all.
Dang.
Last year, I did the math, and I realized that I spent enough to cover a decent vacation for myself.
She like, is they not helping putting in for the thing I'm doing at my own place? I ain't doing it. Y'all can call me selfish, but I ain't doing it. What's in it for me? Just me spending my money?
Something I haven't done in years because every extra penny seems to go into these gatherings. Around this time last year, I finally got the courage to ask my family for a bit of help. Nothing crazy, just suggested that maybe everyone could chip in a little for the food or bring a side dish. I brought it up after dinner one night thinking it would be a casual conversation. Instead, the room went dead silent. Everyone just stared at me like I'd broken some unspoken rule. My mom quickly changed the subject. My brother made a joke about me being Mr. Moneybags, and that was it. Next thing I knew, I was still
Just
footing
like
the
that.
bill while they brought store-bought desserts and called it a contribution. The last Thanksgiving was kind of my breaking point. The whole family was over eating and drinking and catching up while I was running around making sure the turkey didn't burn and the drink stayed filled. The dishwasher decided to quit halfway through the night, and by the time everyone left, I was stuck hand washing dishes until nearly 2 a.m. Meanwhile, my family left early saying how tired they were without a second thought to the mess they left behind. I think
would've
that's when it
lost
hit
it.
me,
I
how
would've
little
been
time I
lost
actually
it.
get to enjoy these holidays myself. For my family, it's a chance to relax, to sit back and enjoy a home-cooked meal in a familiar place. But for me, it's become a full-time job.
Yeah.
I wake up at the crack of dawn to start prepping, and by the time I'm finished cleaning up, it's like the day just vanished. And the pressure isn't just about the time and money, it's about the expectations. Every time I hint that maybe I won't host the next one,
See, at that point, I would have been left. Especially when they didn't even put in no penny. Not helping, it's just me, solo. Oh, nah. Y'all got me messed up.
my mom just brushes it off with comments like, "But you're so good at it or it wouldn't be the same anywhere else." I even tried to bring it up gently at Christmas last year, saying something like, "Maybe it's time to pass the torch." My mom just looked at me and said, "Well, where else would we go?" My brother, of course, didn't jump in to offer his place. He just nodded along, like he didn't have a stake in it. I couldn't help but feel a bit resentful. It's not like he doesn't have the space or the means to help out. He just doesn't want the hassle. And meanwhile, I'm left juggling credit card debt because I keep trying to make each holiday special. I've been putting off having a serious talk with them, mostly because I'm worried about how they'll react. Now you can watch the second part by pressing share and more. My family expects me to host every holiday, but it's becoming too much for
That would be too much. Way too much for
My
me.
wife's dog attacked our daughter and left her traumatized. I protected our child, but now my wife is threatening to leave me. Don't get me wrong, I love the dog, but I made a choice between my daughter and the dog, and obviously I choose my daughter. But everyone is pissed at me. It is at the point where my wife has been staying with her parents the last week and not talking to me. The
Damn.
same with the rest of the family, my side included. 2 weeks ago I came home from work and my 6-year-old daughter came running out of the house to greet me, like she does every day. My wife had a 4-year-old mixed breed that came running up behind my daughter, grabbed her on the leg, dragged her to the ground and basically started to maul her. This was not playing at all, he was attacking my daughter. I grabbed the dog off of my crying and screaming daughter and threw him to the side. He again started snarling and barking at my daughter, ready to attack her again. I pulled out my pistol, grabbed my daughter's head, pushed it into my chest and fired 2 shots, deleting the dog. My daughter is fine at the moment and was cleared as we did call an ambulance, and she was taken to the hospital. Bite mark on the
Like,
CAF,
just
shoulder
like
and neck that
that.
pierced the skin, and a bunch of scratches. Luckily nothing vital was hit, so she will physically make a full recovery. Therapy will be ongoing. It
See,
started
that's
this week
good.
to help with what happened, and that she is now deathly afraid of dogs. I don't blame her at all. My wife, on the other hand, after our daughter was cleared from the hospital, was cold to me, and when I asked her what was wrong, she went off on me for shooting the dog. She asked how can I take away something that she loved. I may be the a-hole for my response because I said I didn't care that animal attacked our daughter and I will shoot it again if I had to. She did.
So you're more important about the dog than your own daughter that came out you, that you birth. Some people don't deserve kids.
Didn't speak to me for almost a week after the incident until she told me she will be staying with her parents for a while. She told mutual friends, her family and mine, that I shot her dog, and they are calling me some very nice things, including murderer, animal abuser. She hasn't lied about why I shot the dog, and I have also confirmed the reason as to why, but I'm still the bad guy. I should have known my daughter would be okay. The dog might just have been playing and got a bit too rough. I had no right to shoot a family pet. My point and remains the same. I saw a dog attacking my daughter. I got him off of her and he came back to attack her again. I protected my daughter and will do it again. This didn't happen over minutes. It was literally seconds, and I acted on the information I had at the time. I wasn't about to take any chances with the dog that already attacked her and came back again. We are lucky the damage done wasn't more severe. When I try and
True.
explain my side, all I get back is I'm trying to justify my actions. I am also the bad guy because I told my wife I will be talking to a lawyer as I'm thinking about getting a divorce because she made it clear that she cares more for an animal than our daughter. I gave her 2-option family and couple counseling or
True.
divorce. My daughter is asking every day when her mother will be coming home and why she won't talk to her over the phone. The questions of if she did anything wrong and if her mother hates her has already started as well, but my wife still refuses to talk or come home just to see our daughter. All of my communications between my wife and me has gone through her
Oh, mother. Like, what did the daughter do? She got attacked by your dog. Your dog.
mother because my wife is refusing to answer her phone or text. I have also told her that I will be going for full custody of our daughter if I go through with the divorce because she is making it clear that our daughter doesn't actually matter to her. Still
Good.
no answer received from her, but all
Good.
third parties calling me a monster for not seeing my wife pain and going nuclear. But I can't get an answer about when I ask what about our daughter's pain. Why isn't she here? Why is she ignoring her own daughter? Edit.
Right.
I read through my post and noticed I made my wife sound emotionless about our daughter when she got attacked. That isn't fair to her as she was freaking out when she came running out the house seeing our daughter covered in blood. She was crying and kept asking if our daughter will be okay. Her behavior only started after our daughter was cleared from the hospital. Police was called as a
That's
firearm
still
was
weird.
discharged, but I was cleared and no charges will be filed against me for deleting the dog as I only did it to protect my daughter. I have cameras and that confirmed every time I told the police. If you are interested, it was 21 seconds from the dog attacking to me shooting. My wife's dog attacked.
But I think he could have dealt with the dog in a different way. He didn't have to shoot it, but he was trying to protect his daughter, so I understand.
Son pounded me after catching me pleasuring myself.
These rich stories gotta go. Like, what are we even talking about? What?
I, 42F, have been single for 5 years, since my partner passed away. My son, 26M, came home to visit, while he thinks about moving back to my town. I have since moved into a small 1-bedroom apartment, so there was no real room for him, but he's only staying 2 weeks. I haven't seen him in over a year, even though we talk every week. He and I are very close. When I picked him up from the airport, my heart raced. We held hands the entire drive home. Having a man in the house again felt really good. I had a list of chores for him to do and he started almost immediately. I told him I wanted to thank him for his work and he suggested we go out to a nice restaurant. I was excited, since I mostly cook at home for myself and it has honestly been a few months since I've been on a date. I got dressed and we went to a nice Italian restaurant he picked. He was so attentive the entire night. It was sweet, and when he suggested I have another glass of wine, I didn't hesitate. We went for a short walk after dinner and I hung off his arm and we talked about his girlfriend. It was the happiest I've been in a while. When he drove us home, he grabbed my hand and held it, initiating the contact. When we got home, we talked more and he massaged my shoulders and then neck. It was heaven. I realized that I was enjoying being touched too much, and excused myself.
That is your son. What is wrong with you? You're sick. Sweet Home Alabama.
Saying I was going to bed. I went to my room and put a towel on my bed and got comfortable. I was about to play with myself, but my son walked in.
So you got no locks on your door? No locks?
He then saw me, obviously exposed. He then started smirking. Press share and more for part 2. Son pounded me after catching me play.
Started smirking? Oh yeah, this is Alabama. Gotta be Alabama. Alabama, Montana, somewhere there. We will not be watching part 2.
What disturbing rumor turned out to be true at your school? When I was a senior in high school, we had a new teacher join the faculty to teach health and home economics. She was probably about 26 years old and very, very attractive. Everyone was talking about the hot new teacher. As I was senior class president, I needed a new faculty advisor since my previous advisor of 3 years retired at the end of my junior year. About 2 weeks later, the principal called me into his office and informed me that the new hot teacher was going to be our new class advisor for the rest of the year. As a result, she and I spent a lot of time together, at school and off campus, organizing and running myriad events to raise money for the class, plan the prom, field trips, etc. Soon, the rumors started flying around that she and I were messing around. This was completely false. I can say she never acted inappropriately towards me or suggested anything to make me think she had.
See, that's one thing I hate in school. It's like, when you walk or talk to the opposite sex, people already thinks something going on. Like, you can't just have friends.
Plans for any type of physical or sexual activity. She was a fantastic advisor and always just that, a class advisor. I spent the rest of the year denying these rumors with friends, with teachers and with parents. I was even interrogated by my wrestling coach the day before the district championship match. She and I had a laugh about it at graduation as she had to face similar questions from other faculty as well as the principal. She confided in me that she had tendered her resignation, but the principal would not accept it and said he believed her and would ensure the rumor was squashed. So I graduated and left for my plebe year at West Point, forgetting about the entire situation. At West Point, the first year is called plebe year rather than freshman year. The first semester of my plebe year was moving along as it should, with no unusual events worth mentioning until the final month. Then, in early December, the topic of my high school faculty advisor resurfaced. One night when I was studying, there was a knock on my door and the company tactical officer, a regular Army captain, walked in and told me to report to his office immediately as there was a phone call for me from the Dover Police Department. Now, I immediately assumed it was my brother playing some kind of twisted joke on me since he was a captain in the very same police department waiting for me on the phone. Since my TAC was standing right behind me, I answered the phone as we were taught. Cadet Kerwick speaking. How may I help you, sir/ma'am? I immediately recognized the voice on the other end. It was not my brother but a close friend I had grown up with and known for over 15 years. He said,
"Oh my god, I moan, your ass is so fucking."
Oh, what did we just hear?
"Oh my god, I moan,
Alright, we gonna do one more last one after this.
your ass is so fucking tight, baby," he says to me. He starts thrusting in and out of me harder and faster. I throw my head. The sounds of our skin slapping together and our
what?
moans fill his little office. I wonder if maybe people can hear us. It's so fucking hot and I can feel myself getting closer again when he pulls out. I look back at him and he's grinning. He's fucking with me.
Whoa.
He puts his cock up to my pussy and thrusts inside of me. Then he
Is this allowed on TikTok? But Trey Rats get banned for saying the N-word too much. But they tell a whole sex scene.
pulls out and does it again. I feel him stick a finger inside of my asshole. I'm loving this. Every damn second is pure ecstasy. I find that I already want to come again. He's fingering my asshole and fucking my pussy, and the feelings mixed are.
See, like, we start off this story sexually. We're gonna keep on continue. What is
Amazing. I reach.
this is part 1? It shouldn't even be a part 2. Long on part 1. freaky ass.
Around in front of me and begin to rub my clit. Are you gonna come again, baby? He asks. Yes, I moan and rub myself faster. He starts
Yo.
fucking me harder and deeper, thrusting into me with all of his power. We're moving the desk and either he hasn't noticed or he just doesn't care. It's been 6 months since I've seen Jace, and I'm so excited I can barely sit still. He grew up with my dad, and he's been a part of my life since the day I was born, but the way I feel about him is anything but platonic. I know he's more than twice my age and that I really shouldn't feel this way about someone who watched me grow up, but the pussy wants what the pussy wants, and mine most definitely wants.
Yo, TikTok, fake show platform. What is wrong with you? Yo, TikTok, you allow sex stories?
Him. I thought once I turned 18 that I would act on it, but one thing led to another with his career as a professional poker player, and now I'm 19, a completely untouched virgin, and more than ready to make my feelings known. It's been pure hell following his career online, seeing all the beautiful women that surround him and not being able to do a goddamn thing about it. I'm horny, a little bit grumpy, and willing to do anything to get Jace's cock inside me. When the
Yo. Like, what? You right, why am I still watching this?
doorbell rings. I'm on my feet and running down the stairs before my parents even have time to get up. I'll get it. I yell as I pass the living room and race down the hall. When I open the door and see Jace's gorgeous face, I let out a happy squeal and throw myself in his strong arms. I know it's completely inappropriate, and I also don't give a damn. He gives a deep laugh and wraps his arms around me. Miss me? Yes, I say, not even bothering to play coy about it. I squeeze him tighter and bury my face in his neck, breathing in the comforting, familiar scent of him. God, I've missed the smell of his cologne. I may have bought a bottle of it after he left and sprayed it on my pillow so I can smell him while I fuck myself at night. I don't mention
You're a fiend. Yo. You should never be this horny.
this to him. Instead, I enjoy every second of being in his arms, and then let out an irritated groan when he sets me down and takes a step back. His green eyes run over me, and my heart gives a leap.
Last time was this horny. It's when Lil Nas X made that shower scene. It's you know.
At the raw lust in his eyes before he scrubs a hand over his face and hides the heat away. I saw it, though, and it makes me feel downright giddy. Maybe this won't be as difficult as I feared it would be. I missed you too, kiddo, he says, rubbing my head like I'm not a fully grown woman who's dying to be fucked by him. Hey, you made it.
We get it, like, you're horny. We get it.
My dad says from behind me. I must look as pissed off as I feel, because Jace shoots me an amused grin before stepping into the house to follow my dad. I trail after them, trying to come up with a plan to get Jace alone. My nipples are rock hard, and I soaked through my panties while he was hugging me, so
Yo. Why is this still up, TikTok?
now I'm all revved up with nothing to do but wait. Following them into the kitchen, I hang back and lean against the counter, never taking my eyes off Jace. The black t-shirt he's wearing is accentuating all that hard muscle, and I smile when I see the deck of cards in his back pocket. He's always carrying around a deck of cards, and seeing that worn, rectangular outline over one firm as hell ass cheek causes an immediate reaction in my body. I swear if we were alone, I'd already had my shorts pulled off and my knees spread wide.
Yo.
His deep laugh has me yanking my eyes from his ass, to meet his very amused grin. Well, damn, he'd caught me eye fucking him, and there was no use in even denying it, so instead I smile at him and lift myself.
Eye sex? When did this become a thing? What is the
So I'm no longer leaning against the counter. Knowing I was going to see him today, I'd worn my thinnest bra, the one I know doesn't do shit to hide nipples. I feel a rush of victory when his eyes run hungrily over my body, stopping to take in my obvious, taut nipples. His jaw is clenched tightly, and when I see him curl his hands into fists, I make sure my parents aren't looking, before sliding my fingers under my shirt. I have his entire attention now, and I can't deny the rush of power it gives me.
Oh,
His
what?
green eyes meet mine, and I can see the obvious, don't you fucking dare, warning in them, but I ignore it. I give him a wink and start to slide my shirt up, grateful that my parents have their heads buried in the fridge while they rummage around for leftovers. Forcing myself to slow down, I tease him, showing him inch by slow inch until my tits are exposed. I'm still wearing the thin, lace bra, but I know he's getting a perfect shot of my rosy nipples, and a real eye. I can feel my hard nipples straining against the lace, begging to be sucked. Jace holds himself perfectly still, but I can feel the tension rolling off him, and the dark look he's giving me is the
No.
closest I've ever come to getting fucked. It's like a caress all over my body, and before I pull my shirt down, I run my fingers over my tits, giving my nipples a good pinch that has him letting out out a groan before I drop my shirt and my parents turn around. You okay? My dad asks him, carrying a big plate of food to the counter. Just fine, Jay says, and I smile even bigger at how strained his voice sounds. Just hungry all of a sudden. Well, you've come to the right place, I say, starting to feel downright
Jace, even though she's above age, you're twice her age. So that means you like in your 30s and 40s to a newly turned 19-year-old. It's legal, but people's gonna look at you weird, buddy.
giddy at how great my little seduction scheme is going. If it continues to go this easily, then I'll be riding that cock in no time at all.
Yo.
He doesn't say anything, just watches me with those sexy, green eyes like he's trying to figure out what in the hell has happened. I don't turn away. I want him to see how badly I need him, how my body is aching for him, and how I'm more hungry for his cock than I have been for anything else in my life. He finally
Sometimes
looks
you
away
wanna
when
say
my
the
mom
word
hands him a
cock.
plate and steps aside so he can fill it. I take the opportunity to run my eyes over his tattooed biceps, loving the way his shirt strains against his hard body. When he's done, he surprises me by taking the bar stool next to me. I hop up on mine instead of leaning against it and grab a roll off his plate to nibble on. He raises a dark eyebrow at me, making me laugh before taking a big bite. I've always stolen food off his plate, and he always pretends to be irritated by it, but I know for a fact that he grabs extra just so I can take it. Looks like I'm not the only one who's hungry, he says, too low for my parents to hear. You have no idea, I say. My parents leave the room, and as soon as they're gone, Jace drops his fork and turns to me. What the fuck was that about, Sydney? What was what about? I ask, giving him a big, wide-eyed look of innocence. Don't bullshit me. Why'd you flash me your tits? Because I wanted you to see them, I say. Because duh. But why? Oh my god, I moan. Your ass.
I ain't gonna lie. I know I said I was gonna do one more, but after this, this is the last one. You two, I'm out. Stand by your goals. Stay positive. Be positive. And guys watching. See you in the next one.